now. The first time that I came here, which was 4 years ago, I think we had one service. We had S3, the simple storage service, and so we have been very, very rapidly adding new services to our portfolio. Compute, storage, database, messaging, payments, content delivery, monitoring tools, high-level parallel processing. I'll talk a little bit about that one in the top right called the virtual private cloud. But the whole idea is we have this very, very broad array of different services that you can use, all of them on a pay-as-you-go, as-needed kind of a basis. So when you sign up for any of these services, you literally go to our website, you create a free account, you agree to the license terms for the services, you attach your credit card. Once you've done that, we give you a private key and a public key that you then embed in all the calls that you make to our service. Only when you start to consume resources from any of those services do we actually charge you money for the use of the services. So for example, the S3 storage service is priced at 15 cents per gigabyte per month of storage. If you store 1 gigabyte with us for 1 month, we'll charge you 15 cents. If you store a fraction of a gigabyte, we'll charge you that corresponding fraction of 15 cents. If you store multiple gigabytes, we'll multiply that out. And it's all based on, for storage, it's based on the amount stored and the time you store it for. So that the unit of storage charging is a gigabyte a month. So 1 gigabyte for 1 month costs you 15 cents. Fraction of the time, fraction of the storage, then correspondingly. So you might sign up for S3 storage, put a couple files up there, kind of test it out. Get your first bill might be 1 cent, 2 cents for that first kind of getting your toes wet kind of usage. People quickly ramp up into the gigabytes and terabytes, even petabytes pretty quickly. We have multiple customers that I believe are at the petabyte or beyond level in storage. So we'll go into detail in just a few of these, but feel free to ask me later about the specifics of any of those. So let's talk about processing. So when you're putting a website online, you need some servers, you need some hosting. So our offering in that space is called EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. The idea here is you get resizable compute capacity, or servers on demand, as much as you need when you need it, and you can allocate these in a matter of minutes. You make a request to the cloud for some servers, you tell us where you'd like to run, because we currently have 3 different regions scattered around the world where you can run your servers. You tell us where you need to launch some servers, what code you need to run, which is called your machine image or your AMI, and you give us your keys so we know who you're running, some security parameters. We find available hardware. We copy your machine image onto there, which is your operating system and your application layered on top. Boot up the hardware, set up the security constraints, and then give it an IP address and a DNS name, and it's up and running for you, generally in between 1 and 5 minutes, based on how busy the network is and the kind of resource that you are asking for. It's fully programmable, and this is actually one of the things that people sometimes miss about the whole concept of cloud computing. At the fundamental level, all the operations on the cloud are simply web service requests, function calls that you make to the cloud. So allocating storage, allocating servers, allocating IP addresses, allocating virtual disk volumes, attaching disk volumes or IP addresses to your servers, enumerating the list of servers. Every one of those operations is programmable. So you could write a script or any kind of a program, run it on your laptop, run it on another server in the cloud. To do any of the operations that we talk about is fundamentally a programmable operation. We do give you command line tools and control panels and so forth layered above that, but at the base you want to think, anything that I see the cloud doing, I can write my own program to manipulate the cloud. Very, very important aspect of integration and automation is this idea that it's fully programmable. Now, when you run these servers, we give you a choice of 7 different sizes of instances with various amounts of CPU power, number of cores, and RAM, and disk space. We give you a choice of pre-built AMIs, the Amazon Machine Images. So this is essentially an image of your root disk of your system. It has your operating system. Optionally, you might have an application stack pre-wired in there. We supply a basic set of AMIs, and then there's a very, very large third-party community of ISVs and software developers that build AMIs that have custom code in there. Like you can get an AMI with MySQL or Oracle or any number of other applications, pre-built, pre-configured, just ready to launch through the console or directly through the API in there. You can get Windows. Question? Go ahead.
No.
Okay.
Just waving my hand.
Oh, okay. No, I actually love to take questions from the audience. It sometimes can totally derail the presentation, but if you do have questions, please feel free to jump in. So we actually have AMIs with a number of different flavors of Linux. We have Windows 2003 and 2008, and also open Solaris on there.
Do you actually got Windows 2000 as well? Oh,
We have 2003 and 2008 right now.
2003, the earliest one.
Yes. Each one of these represents a lot of negotiation for the right licensing model with Microsoft, and there hasn't been. I have to say you're probably the first one who's asked for Windows 2000 so far. Usually it's in the other direction. People want us to go more toward the...
We still use old technology.
Do you? Okay. And we also have an application catalog where you can actually see this collection of pre-built AMIs. The last time I checked, we were somewhere close to 4,000 pre-built AMIs for different kinds of purposes. So in many cases, you don't even have to worry about installing software yourself, because you can find an AMI that's been pre-built and pre-configured and just ready to go.
So do you need to pay extra for AMIs?
So that depends on the vendor that put them together. In some cases, they will provide it to you, and you'll separately need to acquire a license from them. In other cases, they'll use a tool that we provide called DevPay, where they can actually license their software to you on an hourly basis. So that you simply pay a premium above the basic cost of the instance in order to run that third-party software.
So that's all handled through Amazon now?
That's right. So if you're a software vendor, you can actually load your software onto an AMI through DevPay, and you can say that in addition to the basic cost of running the instance, you will charge an additional 10 cents, 20 cents, whatever you'd like per hour for the use of your software. So it's a great model that's very, very different from the original model of licensing software, where you pay the vendor a large amount of money up front, whether you end up using the software or not. With DevPay, you can actually have software available to you on a by-the-hour model, which is great for the consumer. I don't know if the vendors are always as happy, because sometimes they'd like to sell you things that you don't actually end up using. But from the consumer side, you get to actually pay for what you need,
So
when you need it.
stuff like Linux, is that free? I know.
So there's no additional charge for Linux, because you're simply paying for that point for the basic hardware. The Windows AMIs are slightly higher. It's about, I'd say, about 20-something% higher, because there is a licensing cost that we pay to Microsoft for that. In general, our pricing model is totally based on our own costs. So as our own costs vary, we will also pass those savings or extra costs along to our customers. So one thing that we've been very, very good at over the years is that we're continuously negotiating for better prices on all the different commodities that make up the cloud. So multiple times we've actually reduced prices on storage and bandwidth as our own costs are able to, we reduce based on just economy of scale.
Our third-party developed AMIs and applications vetted by Amazon until they're released into the catalog?
No, there's really no way for us to go in and inspect them in any great amount of detail. So what we do instead is we have essentially a discussion and a rating system around each of these AMIs. And there's a certain amount of reputation that you have to kind of pick up on reputation from the community to know what's who are the kind of the established providers in that space.
Right.
So that there's really no way that you can actually scan something like this and be 100% certain that there was all good code in there.
I just wondered how it would affect your SLAs. For example, you had deficient third-party developed AMI.
The way it usually works is that word gets out pretty quickly if something isn't living up to what's promised there, and there's actually a little discussion forum that's kind of centered around each different